Hi everyone, it's so glad to be together again to do some more crafting in Psalms. It's Renee. I hope you're having a very, very blessed day. Today we are learning about Psalm 45, the Royal Wedding Song. I'm so excited about this one. I know Karen is going to be teaching something on it tonight, so I'm not going to teach anything. I think Diane's going to be teaching something as well. But this is like a great psalm about being the bride to be, and something that we can all look forward to one day. So today we are gonna do watercolor, and I really wanted to let y'all know I got this idea from, it's a lady, her website is called praiseheart.net. Praise, Praise, heart, HEART.net. And she's actually going through the Psalms as well. And she's an artist, and for every psalm, she's got a doodle on there that you can download. She has a drawing, and she has one for the columns for the side of your Bible if you just want to do that. She's got one for the page of your Bible if you want to do that. And then she has a art video for every single psalm. Again, I'm not affiliated with her. I don't, I think she has it out there for free for anyone who gets on her website. I think you just subscribe to her newsletter or whatever. I think it's just on her website. You don't even have to subscribe to her newsletter. But so this idea is from her, and I took her idea, her picture, her doodle, and I put it in my Bible. And now we're just going to watercolor it. And she's incredible. You can watch her watercolor, and she'll do it in 15 minutes flat. It's going to take me a lot longer than that. But I did prep my page ahead of time because I will be using water and dark watercolor. But all I'm going to be using today is watercolor and some colored pencils, and maybe a little bit of paint for the white, because the white watercolor doesn't really show up as well. That's it. So if you want to care to join me, if you go on her site, praise.com or praiseheart.net, praiseheart.net, you can get the doodle as well, and you can doodle it in your Bible and follow along. So I'm just getting my brush wet, and I'm wetting up my paints. I'm going to do a pink background. Pink and peach background. I don't want it too bright, so I'm kind of mixing the colors. And actually, I might need a bigger brush for this. And I'm just gonna get the background done. Again, this is like one of those pages that would be perfect to just put on some music and just paint away. You can cover the flowers, that's not gonna matter. Have a paper towel nearby you, just in case it goes crazy on you, it goes wonky on you. But she's really good with her watercolors. I don't know how she does it so well and so quickly. I definitely cannot do that. But we'll try our best. I don't think it matters if I go over the ribbons too much. But yeah, I'm excited for the teaching that we are going to get on this psalm. This is just such a great psalm about what we get to look forward to in being the bride of Christ. You know, there are those days when I'm like, okay, God, Jesus, you can come back now. I'm ready. Especially lately, with everything going on in the craziness in the world. So yeah, right now I am just laying in the background, just like a little pink background. Just getting some color down. I always go in stages and layers, and it's easier to do it that way and get some color down and then go back in. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with a smaller brush. And just do a little darker around the lady in some areas. Let me dab that up a little bit. It's getting a little too wet right there. But you can make the background whatever color you want. I'm just showing you how I am doing it. You can do it whichever way you want. It's easier if you've got the image on your page already done. So all I did was just follow along on her doodle and drew this in. Her roses are very easy. They're just like squiggle lines around, which I like. Makes it easy. Like I said, she makes it look so easy. And then you go in and try to do it. And it's like, it's not as easy as you make it look. But her pictures always turn out so good. Okay, then once you get the first layer done, you need to dry it. Grab my heating tool. Should dry pretty quick if you just put a thin layer. At least it's mostly dry. I'm gonna go in and do her face and neck and stuff. So, okay, so let me grab, I guess, this brush, and we're gonna do peach, a little bit of orange peach for her face. And her ears. And then her neck. And here's her veil, so that's gonna be painted a little bit later. Her dress will come through here. Okay, and I'm gonna take a smaller brush. So it's nice to have a few brushes handy. So you can go in and do larger areas or smaller areas. And I'm gonna kind of go in and give her a little bit of a shadow. This will give her a little bit of dimension. So I'm using peach and like this yellowish color. You don't want too much water when you're doing the detail work on your brush. So the less water, the easier it is. You could always mop it up a little if with a paper cloth if it gets too runny for you. If it gets too dark, just bring in some water. And just go to places where you think there's shadows, and that's where you can add just a little bit of dimension. I hope I'm on screen for this. Sorry, y'all. Am I on screen? Okay. Oh, let's see. good thing with watercolors, you can go in and dab it up and fix it and what have you. We're gonna go put in more details as we go. Okay. And then we're gonna work on our hair. I'm gonna do yellow first, like a yellowish brownish. So the same brownish kind of used in her face and yellow. And go all over her hair with that. Let's see. Come around here. Let's see, and those will be little wisps, and then this is her hair back here as well. Showing through her tiara. Her tiara, I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. And let's see, let's get some browns, like a light, mix a light brown. Woo, okay. Let's dilute that a little bit. There we go. And just do parts of her hair. It's later at night here. I'm doing this at night. It's just so quiet in the house. I'm enjoying the peace and quiet. So y'all can just kind of craft along with me. Except for my son. He's here for a few days and I can hear him in his room playing video games. You'd think he'd have outgrown that by now, but no, when he's off work, he will come in every once in a while and hang out with us and play video games every once in a while. He's got to wake up early for work, so I think he'll be going to bed soon. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to dry this because it's gonna continue to start muddying each other up. So in between layers, if you're gonna work on the same layers, you want them dry in between. It'll help with your watercolor and help add layers as well. At least get most of it dry. I'll go back in the hair in just a minute. While I'll let that dry for a little while. In the meantime, I'm gonna do, let's see, some pink and let's see, peach and pink roses. I'm gonna make these roses. Ooh, that's a pretty color. And I'm just gonna go in like this and make them big. It doesn't matter if you stay in the lines or not. This could be like an abstract type drawing as well. Use a little bit more water. Just kind of go in, have fun with it. And the little watercolor spots kind of make it more interesting, I think. And we're gonna go in her hair. So just kind of swirl it around. And then she's got some roses in her hair. So this is just the first layer. It always helps to keep continually adding different layers, and that's what gives your picture a little bit of dimension. So you add the first color layer and then you will add some more once that dries. Okay, so let that dry a little bit. Okay, we can work on the bells. sure I'm in screen for y'all. I'm gonna work on the bells. I'm gonna make them kind of yellow brownish. A little bit of yellow, a little bit of the ochre, or like, you know, yellow brown. And then I think I'm gonna put some glitter. I might use some of my jelly roll pens or gel pens and glitter these up and her tiara up at the end. Once it's all dry, I'll go in, but we'll see how that works. And then, let's see, I need a teeny tiny brush to do these little strings hanging down. I'm gonna first do pinkish, and then we might do some like purple, or I don't know. We'll see what it looks like. Ooh, that is bright pink. So water that up a little bit. Kind of go in. And if you got different shades, it'll show different, you know, shadows and what have you. So you want a few different size brushes, maybe a big brush, a medium brush, and a smaller brush, so you can get a little bit more details. And getting these little spots. Wow, it's just so relaxing watercoloring. I enjoy it. Don't worry if you get out a little out of the lines, it's no big deal. We'll go in and do shadowing and things like that anyway, so it'll probably cover it up. Okay, let's see, this little brush. We're gonna do a little bit of green and green blue, and a little bit of brown for this little leaf right here. Actually, I'm gonna probably need this little one. But yeah, you can make these anything, whatever color you want. Just keep working your way around the page. Let's see what else. What else? Let's see, are the roses pretty dry? I'm gonna go in with some purple now with these roses. Give them just a little bit more variant colors in here. So we're going from pinks and purples. We have some dark areas, some light areas, so they're just not just plain, just pink flowers. Get my smaller brush. I'm gonna move this paint around a little bit. Make it go where I want it to go. I'll go back in with a little bit more pink. Okay, I'm gonna have to dry that before I can go any further. And I'm gonna take my small brush and go in, do some shadowing on, let's see, the bells. Need a little bit more water. There we go. So I'm just using a little bit of the, like, a little darker yellows, light browns for the shadowing. With a little teeny tiny brush. Let's see, where would the shadow be? Under here. And where this bell's hitting that bell. Let's see, this one will have a little bit of shadow. So then you can always go in and do a little more detail. Once you get the main color down. Oh, might have to dry it, it's not taking the color. Come on. Oh, now it took too dark. That's okay, you can go in and fix it. Yeah, I might have to wait until that dries a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna go back into her hair. Let's see, I need a... Okay, we're gonna get her hair a little bit darker in spots. We'll see how it turns out. This is when I keep my paper towel with me so I can continuously rub off excess off my brush. But by going in and adding highlights and, oh, that's really dark. By going in and adding different colors like this, you give dimension to your picture. Let's see, there'd be a shadow under here by the flowers. And under the leaf. And under this flower. And then her hair would kind of go down here, curl, curl up, curl this way. Ooh, real dark again. That's when you get your water and you just go in, you just dab it up. I keep getting it too dark. Her hair's gonna come down here, curl a little bit. Get some of that yellow. Okay, we gotta let that dry again. Now I'm gonna go into her, back into her face or her ears and such, and do a little bit more shading. Actually, I could do her hair around here. Into her face, do the shadows. Whoa, a little too dark right there. Just dab it up. With a clean spot. It would help if you dabbed it with a clean spot of your paper. And if it just gets wonky on you, just wipe it up. No big deal. So I hope you can see how I'm just going back and forth from the paint to the paper. There we go. That's kind of what I was looking for, just like a big shadow. If you need to erase something, just dab your brush into the water and then just come back and go over it, and it usually erases it pretty well. Okay. Get rid of whatever color you didn't want. Okay, I think her face is almost shadowed up the way I want it. I want a shadow like over here. Kind of going like this a little bit. It's not working the way I want it to work. Come on. Okay. Let's do her neck. Y'all, forgive me, I get so detail oriented. I always want to put more detail in, more detail. Just doesn't look right to me until I get it the way I think all the details should be. We don't want it that dark. There we go. So these little pearls around her neck. So as a lady, I don't know her name, as she said in her video, you know, she put roses in here, the white wedding dress, the pearls. They're all there to signify something that has to do with this psalm and about being the bride of Christ. And I thought that was really cool. So had to have the pearls in it and the roses. Okay, so now I'm going to go into her tiara, or tiara, however you want to say it. Actually, I just see a little spot here that needs some shading. But I'm going to go into her tiara and I'm going to paint that. You can paint it whatever color you want. I'm going to go in with yellow, and then like I said, I'm probably going to go in with some gold. Like, I'm wondering if I do like this color and yellow. And then I might go in with some gold, little like jelly pens or something to give it a little bit of sparkle. because it's a tiara and we're God's jewels and we gotta sparkle. Gotta have a little bit of sparkle on our page, especially on the bride page. I mean, come on, right? Probably are all laughing at me as I'm sitting here at night in my living room or my craft room, just kind of talking to myself, except I'm talking to you guys through the camera. Sometimes my favorite time to do all this is at night. When the house is quiet, the neighborhood is quiet. Feels like, you know, most people are sleeping and I could just spend quiet alone time with the Lord. Quietly crafting, my phone's not going off, you know, and no interruptions. I love it. I'm gonna go in and do a little bit of shadowing if I can, if we can get this to. I don't want it to blend, I don't want it to look like her hair, so, you know, we want a little bit of contrast there. Let's see. Ooh. So it'll probably be darker underneath where the shadows would be. I really enjoyed seeing all of your work and pictures and notes and everything throughout the study. It's been so fun seeing what everybody's doing. We've got such a creative bunch in our group and just dedicated women who are just dedicated to sticking with the study. I'm just in awe of the fact that everyone's been sticking with it for this long. That's so great to see. And I know you all have been learning so much just as I have been. And been gaining so much from this study. So I thank you, Diane, so much for putting yourself out there to do something like this for all of us. It's been such a blessing. I can't even tell you how much of a blessing it's been. Okay, I'm looking at her hair and I see that I forgot all this part back here. So we need to remedy that. I need to shade it a little. Get some water. Okay, might have to go in a little bit later. So we are gonna go in with colored pencil just to get the real detail in. That's if you want. If you want to keep it all watercolored like this, you're more than welcome to. Okay, other thing, let's get a little bit deeper red in these roses in certain areas. Ooh, that's really red. just like kind of smearing it around. Just kind of make it a little abstract, but so you can see that there's little areas of shading and deeper spots of the rose and what have you. Need a little bit more. Okay, I think we're almost there, y'all. Okay, let me dry this real quick. It's looking good, it's getting there. I'm gonna go in and do a few more things. Okay, so I'm going back. These ribbons are just one-dimensional. We need to give it a little bit of oomph. We need to give them some depth, I guess you would say. So I'm gonna pick a side and go in with like a little deeper purple. Whoa, that was a little too much. We'll just clean that up. So you just kind of go in, do the shadows. There we go. Let's see, I'll go around the circle, come out. My hand's not the steadiest, so just kind of go with it and just give it a little bit of some shading. Oh, I kind of like that. Okay, I'm gonna go a little darker. And you can, you know, experiment and see what you like, what works for you. Oh, I kind of like that when it's a little bit darker like that. Let's just do a little bit more. Okay, so then the next thing is I have some, let me just close this. I just put a little bit of white tempera paint because I want to do her veil, and the white watercolor doesn't really show up, at least mine doesn't. So if you have a white, any kind of white paint or something, you can water it down a little so it's not so thick. But you're gonna kind of go in, and this will make this stand out because we want it to be like her white veil. This is when you can clean up some of your spots that you want to clean up as well. But this, yeah, this white tempera paint or acrylic paint will work, tempera paint will work, whatever kind of white. If you have a white gouache paint, that'll work. And it just makes this stand out a little bit more. Okay, now I need my smaller brush. It's too wet to get in here. Oop, still got pink on that. Let's get that off. Okay, my smaller brush is gonna go in to do the little pearls on her neck and on her ears. And I'm gonna go in between her little wisps of hair here. Clean that up a little bit. Clean this up a little bit. Okay, and then, oh, I forgot the pearls of her ears. We need her ears, the pearls. We want those to stand out white. Gotta have those pearls. And then, if you want to use the same white, you can use white now for highlights in the roses. Kind of smear it around. And then she was mentioning how the roses are in a garden, because one day we will be back in the garden. And so we're gonna, that's one thing we gotta still do, is draw the garden. So we need to get our watercolors out again. Since we have this out, let's just continue with this real quick. So I'm just putting some highlights in different parts. Some highlights in her hair. If you have a white pen, you can do that. This same thing with a pen. I have a white pen, but it doesn't seem to work very well. So this paint probably works better just for some subtle highlights. And I'm gonna put a couple in her tiara. It's just the little details that kind of make a picture pop out. At least that's what I think. Okay, now I'm gonna go back in with some watercolor again, and I'm going to do, what am I going to do? Some light blue and white, some light blue for her little creases in her veil. And some shading down her veil. Because it's not always like just exactly white. There's like some nuances and some shadows and such. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back in a little bit into between these pearls because you know, the pearls kind of gotta separate them a little bit and put some shadows on them a little. That's way too dark. So that makes them look like they're not just sitting there on the page, giving it a little bit of dimension. I'm all about dimension, y'all. Okay. Okay, so now we need to do the garden, y'all. This is the easy part. So you're gonna take a bigger brush, like a bigger brush, probably one about this size, and get some green. And you don't want it like bright green. So I mix a little bit of brown or a little bit of the ochre with the green. So it's kind of like a forest green, I guess. And then, oh, that's a little too much water. And then you're gonna kind of go in and just make your forest. And you're just gonna kind of go like this with your paint. So the roses aren't just sticking there. All by themselves in the middle of nothing. They need to be in their greenery with the leaves and such. And you can go in with different shades of green. Make sure you don't go into her veil. And there'll be some greenery coming out this way. Let me see if I have a brush with a different kind of bristle on it. There we go. So you're gonna want a brush with a stiffer bristle to get this like fluffy type look. That's working a lot better. So just kind of experiment with your brush tips. That makes it look a little bit more like leaves and forests. And just kind of go in, and you can hear that this is stiffer bristles on this one. Whoa, I was gonna put some shadow in, but not that much shadow. There you go. Just fix it. So we wanted a little bit of shadow in certain areas. And you can do different colors. I'm actually going to add a little bit of blue, because blue-green in areas. Let's see. Give the green a different type of feel. So this way it's not just one flat color. You're getting a variety of colors. You get different shadows and such. Okay, and then we've got to do a little bit of shadowing below the flowers to give them some dimension. I think I'm going to use my little brush. That way I can wipe it up if I don't. Okay. And then you can just go back under your shadows. Okay, so let's dry this off. Oops, sorry y'all, I just hit the camera. Dry this part off. Okay, I'm almost at an hour. I just saw the time. So let me dry this off. And I'll show you what I'm going to do next, so then you all can go and do the rest on your own. It's super easy. It's so cool. The page is turning out. It's coming alive. Okay, so my final thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with some colored pencil and just do a little bit more detail. So you can go in and cover these little lines with a colored pencil. So I might go in with like pink or dark pink or some purple and just kind of, you know, fix up the shadows and that kind of thing, just to give it a little bit more detail. And that's really it. And then I'm gonna do the bride to be in black, black pen. And that's it. And then, oh, well, then I might add a little bit of sparkle to her tiara and the wedding bells. So when I get finished with it, I'll take a picture of it so y'all can see what I did. But here's the gist of it. It's all just watercolor, and a little bit of whatever you use for your white, and then some colored pencils. So hope you all enjoy. Hope you all have fun. This is a fun page, and this is something that we can all look forward to, and I'm excited about it. And I love the imagery. So, and I'm looking forward to the teaching that we're going to have tonight. So thank you all for joining me. Keep creating, keep spending time in God's Word, and I'll see y'all next time. Love y'all. Bye.